Hello everybody, and welcome back to your LolCow News Network. Now, of course, it goes without saying, but I am your ever so gracious host, Anchorman Sam, and today's a special video because today we actually have an update on Daniel Larson. We actually have a full-on phone call from him. I'm pretty excited to get into this. It's been a while since we've had any updates on Larson. Now, as always, big thank you to LarsonLeak for uploading this video. There will be a link to it in the description. And before we get into things, I want to go ahead and give a big ol' thank you to W Energy for partnering here with us at LolCow News Network. If you go to w.gg and use my code LNN, that'll give you 10% off. Anyway, guys, without anything else needing to be said, let's jump right on into it.
Dang, Daniel, how you doing?
Absolutely terrible. So my lawyer, my public defender, okay, is with the public defender's office, okay, a federal public defender's office out of Denver, Colorado, and his name is Jared. He is saying I'm incompetent and I'm going to get transferred to a psychiatric facility. He's naming 5 different ones. One in South Carolina, which doesn't make sense. I'm being told I would be moving to either South Carolina or Missouri, New York City or New York, somewhere in New York, San Diego, or Seattle.
What the hell? Missouri.
Bob doesn't want me.
Now, to me, the way that comes across is it sounds like they just want to try to get him as far away from the state as possible. And the reason being is because if for some reason his lawyer is able to get him released or the charges dropped or what have you, they want to try to keep him away from the city that he has been terrorizing for years now.
The state. Okay. There's no time frame on when I'm going to get transferred. The paperwork got submitted to the court over 2 months ago. So I'm just sitting and just waiting right now.
It's terrible.
And I have a legal phone call with my lawyer today, and I am being told by Bob, and I'm also thinking that, like, why am I just sitting here? Like, they either need to get me transferred, or at this point, give me time served and get me out. Because threats, it's not like I acted on them. I was homeless and I was demanding help. So where is the actual issue there? There isn't.
Well, maybe Daniel doesn't realize, but until he is convicted, which, at least to my knowledge at the time of recording this, he's not had any kind of formal conviction just yet. I will make sure to check on that, and I'll try to throw something up in editing if I am incorrect on that. But Daniel would actually receive time served for that. So that's not a problem. That time served will still count, but it's not going to count towards any time, additional time anyway, that he still has to go through and serve.
You're right. They're just, they took advantage of I really don't understand either. Has McDougal even tried to talk to you since then? Or McDougal?
No, he hasn't. And he also told me, he promised me that Grace and I would be having the wedding.
Why don't
he's promised me stuff now that is just not even happening. And then he was trying to accuse me of things that it's like there's absolutely zero evidence of.
Yeah, like the child...
the child thing, which there's absolutely no evidence, so that never even went through because they just don't have evidence.
This call is from a federal prison.
And then also they were trying to accuse Bob of raping me.
What the hell?
Yeah, they were trying to straight up accuse Bob and then lie to me just to get Bob arrested for crimes. Like,
You know, the thing about Bob, I don't necessarily believe, but then again, Daniel is a known pathological liar, so it is kind of hard to tell at times if he is actually telling the truth or if he's lying. In this case, it's very obvious he's just lying through his teeth right now. And when he brought up Grace and the wedding, that's what really blows my mind, that he is still on that delusion that he's dating or engaged to or whatever with Grace. What's her name again? Grace Vanderwall. It makes me think that maybe him being sent to a psychiatric facility for a more long-term stay is actually going to be a lot better for him than just throwing him in a prison. And real quick, I did want to just add this in about the charges where it just showed, a few admissions of guilt, just a few though. I don't know why that man would think that would be a good idea to say that out loud in a prison. I mean, for crying out loud, does he not understand what they do to people like that in prison, or
crimes. Like, if you are going to continue to do that, there's going to be further issues.
Ooh.
Because it's straight up just like not okay. Especially if they're saying it happened to me, and I absolutely know that is false information that they're saying is just ridiculous.
I mean, they're just... I'm surprised they haven't arrested me and other people and tried to accuse me of things.
Right.
Why did... So all of July you were in the SHU, right?
I was in the SHU, yes.
The SHU, Special Housing Unit for high-risk inmates.
All of July.
What?
Okay, so just a couple of quick things I wanted to run over with this. First off, if I remember right, weren't they actually trying to charge Clark with something whenever all this initially went down? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I honestly do not remember for the life of me. But also, Daniel Larson in the SHU. I mean, look, the SHU has been known to drive people kind of crazy. So it makes me wonder, man, if we put Daniel in there for long enough, would it drive him sane?
Pretty much.
What happened? Did someone try and fight you said?
Somebody was trying to fight me. People were calling into the jail, apparently, to the actual, facility, sending threats to me. And so I was getting pretty much attacked for people calling in. And I'm like, guys, I'm famous. It's not my problem. There's nothing I can do.
Dang, so then did they put you in protective custody?
I've been in protective custody on 22-hour lockdown a day for over 2 months now. Going on 3 months.
What do you do all day?
Either sleep or just read books.
Now, I find it mighty hard to believe that Daniel Larson's reading books, but all jokes and everything aside, I refuse to believe that there were people dumb enough to call into the jail like Daniel's saying, because it just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I mean, why would you call into a federal institution trying to start something with a LolCow? I mean, at that point, whatever happens to you, if you wind up getting cuffed and stuffed in the pokey, that's all on you.
Or just read books. And people are still saying I don't know how to read books when I do. So that's another thing that's pissing me off, is people are accusing me of not knowing how to read, and they don't even know if I can or can't.
What?
So they don't even have a say.
The cops were saying that, or the inmates, or just
everybody?
Jeez, yeah, that's...
And then other people inside the jail, inmates and COs, keep coming up to me joking around about Grace, saying, oh, I'm in contact with her now, I'm dating her.
Jeez.
And all that's doing is that's getting me angry. It's okay, do you have their number? Because I have their number.
Ooh.
I'm not, I don't have it, straight on me, but it's in my legal discovery, it's just blocked out. You know what I mean? I have more than enough proof right now. I'm pretty sure you don't, and they're just creating all these random arguments with me.
I mean, they can look you up and see that you're in there for like huge charges. Those people are probably in there for like like the jail you're in has a lot of pet and stuff, like that Subway guy.
Right, but the thing is, my charges are not that big.
Exactly.
If you really think about it. They're small compared to a lot of these other people.
True. It's true.
You know, I'm basically right now just serving time. That's all it is.
What books have you been reading? Did you get it from like commissary or something?
No, there's a library here. I got a bunch of, I guess, like 2 or 3 books. I've been reading like fairy tale stuff, vampire stuff.
Oh, that's good.
But anyways, apparently Bob is all pissed off about what's going on with Grace. He's like, okay, so we know that Grace is involved. Why not helping? Like, why is she not getting you out? You know, like, she's a millionaire. She should be able to just, you know, get you right out and get you on the record deal. Why is she not helping?
And you know what? Bob actually raises a pretty fair point on that. If Daniel was actually involved with, I know he just said her name, Grace, what's her face? What was her name again? Grace Vanderwall. Why wouldn't she use her millions and millions to bail him out if they were actually engaged and in love and this, that, and the third? It's because Daniel hasn't figured out yet. Grace Vanderwall knows who he is, but it's not for good reasons. She doesn't like him. She doesn't want anything to do with him. But he can't comprehend that. And I already know without a doubt in my mind, he's been going around telling these other inmates that he's engaged to Grace Vanderwall. And, you know, a lot of these people, they're going to try to check that. And when they go and get someone on the outside to do just a basic Google search, they're going to find out, oh, this guy's just out of his mind.
And I probably shouldn't say this because I don't want to piss you off, but Bob is at the same time kind of upset at you.
This call is from a federal prison.
You got me in contact with the other person who claimed to be Grace, right? We know that. You got me in contact with the person claiming to be Tina and the person claiming to be Grace. I don't know right now if that was real or fake. But what I do know is when they told me that they were in contact with the FBI, okay, one thing I can confirm is what they were saying is true in my legal discovery.
That's true. Yeah, your legal discovery. I haven't been able to see that, but what else?
Right. But my legal discovery straight up has conversations with the verified Tina, Grace's mother, where it's straight up talking about being in contact with me and saying Grace is not dating you, she's not aware of you. But then what I find weird is there's a straight up letter that got sent to the homeless shelter where it straight up is from the real Dave.
Okay, so it looks like I may have been somewhat correct on that. Looks like Tina Vanderwall definitely knows who he is, but Grace looks like she may not know. Then again, those messages are relatively old, so I would assume that by this point in time, everyone involved in that situation is fully aware of who Daniel is. And, you know, for that matter, one thing I want to bring up is why does this man think it's a good idea to talk about his papers, you know? At no point do you ever want to admit that guilt, especially on a recorded line, Daniel. Buddy, come on.
And Dave, as we know, was wanting the relationship and the wedding all along. He has no problem with it, as we know, right?
Yeah, I mean, assuming so, yeah.
Right. And so the thing is, he is the one that apparently sent the letter. And now they're all saying, including Grace, that none of that ever happened.
Jeez.
And there's like literal proof, like it came from their address. So who here is lying?
It's all confusing, and then
Whoever this Grace is, which is, from my understanding, the real Grace, is in my legal discovery, which straight up it's the same stuff that you were saying when I was in contact with you prior to my arrest. So the information I'm being given, right, is making me sound crazy. And
This call is from a federal prison.
it's pissing everybody off. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and they keep pushing back your trial.
And they keep pushing back my trial. So who is doing that? You know, like at this point, I don't know why I'm not just out, you know, and they get me housing, you know, like wherever I'm supposed to go.
I mean,
You know,
Biden did drop out of the race, so it is Kamala now. And I don't know if you heard, apparently there were like Venezuelan gangs coming to Aurora, Colorado, and like taking over apartments and stuff.
Okay, so first and foremost, we are not getting involved in politics on this channel. That is not what this channel's about. I don't think Daniel well, let's face it, the man doesn't comprehend a lot, but it's not the state's job or the Fed's job to get him housing. Ultimately, what they can do is point him in the right direction of programs that will help him get housing, but they don't have to have him housing when he gets released. I mean, let's say, for example, a month from now, Daniel Larson gets released for whatever reason. It is entirely up to him to make sure he has somewhere to go, so that way they know where he's at, especially if it's in, you know, that case, like a case of parole. But if he just gets 100% released, case dismissed, whatever, they're not going to have housing ready for him because it's going to be up to him to get that. The most they'll do is give him a bus ticket.
And like taking over apartments and stuff. I was like,
yeah, no, I heard about that. That's true. That's what's going on. I mean, what could also be going on too is, I mean, all the shootings and stuff.
yeah.
They could be just saying threats are just one step away from the actual doing. The thing is, I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
Get out of the car, Daniel!
I'm not gonna just act on it. I was demanding help, and I even have proof in my legal discovery of me demanding help, going to hospitals. Nobody once ever did anything. Now they're doing kind of the same thing, but just holding me here. When are things going to progress and actually get better? I don't see it happening anytime soon.
And I'm guessing, do they not have tablets in this one like that other?
No, but anyways, I gotta go.
Okay.
Our time's almost up.
Okay.
I'll have to call you back.
One more thing. Try and write down some lyrics, because next time we call, maybe you can like sing over the phone or something.
I don't know. We'll figure something out, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye.
Alright everyone, so that is going to be the end of the video. You know, it's definitely a bit crazy hearing from Daniel again after so long, but who knows when we are going to hear from him again, if we ever hear from him again. Anyway, if you guys liked the video though, make sure you do like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell notification, share the video, share it with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, Jeff Goldblum even. It all helps out the channel. As well, we do have a members program, and I did recently start up a second channel. There will be a link to that in the description below. That's where I'm going to post a lot of my non-LolCow related content and just stuff that I feel like posting. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for joining me, and as always, this is Sam, signing off.